Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Livable Neighborhoods monthly meeting for September. We have, I believe, a full agenda today, so we will just go ahead and jump in. If you have the opportunity, please introduce yourself in the chat so we can get to know each other and see who's here today. And there's something on the agenda, and I realized I didn't send the agenda out to everybody. I showed it just a minute ago and I can share it again, but I did miss something on the agenda. Rosedale Development Association, towards the end of the meeting, will be able to share a little information about what they're going to be presenting at our Good Neighbor training. And so just to let you know that they'll be on a little later, and I was not able to get that on the agenda. But our first speaker today is Shelby, and she is with the Metropolitan Organization to Counter Sexual Assault. And she is going to be giving a full presentation on Monday at our Good Neighbor training. But today she's going to talk a little bit about that. And she's going to be talking about their crime prevention through environmental design, CPTED. A lot of you know that term. Their toolkit that they have for neighborhoods. And so Shelby, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, and I will make you a co-host so that you can share anything that you need to.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrea.
Yes.
So like Andrea said, I'm Shelby. I've been with MOXA for 2 years. I was in AmeriCorps Vista through the UG program before that. So I've been around for a little bit. We facilitate the Violence Prevention Coalition in Wyandotte County. It's called WYCO SAP. And we also coordinate the Violence Prevention Plan, which is a part of the Community Health Improvement Plan. Sorry if you hear my dog whining or barking. She's very needy. She may make a couple guest appearances right next to me. So yeah, part of our strategies for violence prevention focus on the built environment, sidewalks, trees, those kinds of things. I know that a lot of you are familiar with CPTED, so we do use CPTED as a tool for our built environment initiatives, but it's not the only thing that we use. And so while our current toolkit is called the Community CPTED Toolkit, updated versions will be called Community by Design Neighborhood Safety Toolkit. And I'm going to go through a couple of pages just to contextualize what the toolkit is for and how it can be helpful for neighbors. And so let me pull up our toolkit. I'll also drop it in the chat. There you go. And we will have a Spanish version in the next couple of months. I just have to send it off to get printed. So this is our English version. We do have a Spanish version coming. So let me share my screen. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great.
So
what was that? I'm sorry.
Can you enlarge it a little bit?
Let's see.
There you go.
Is that better?
Oh, much better. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so in CPTED, there are 4 basic principles that don't make a lot of sense when you just hear them. So if I were to say space management or territorial reinforcement or access control, those things could mean a lot of different things. And so we have made it pretty simple and we've renamed those principles. So one of them, access control, we have changed to do I know where to go? And in our toolkit, we ask these really simple questions about the space in your neighborhood, in a park around your house or your neighbors' homes. So we've made these really easy to digestible questions that anyone in our neighborhood groups can answer. And then if the answer is no to any of these questions, I'll read a couple just in case you can't see the screen. Are street signs clear and easy to read? Can I tell where to walk, bike, or use a wheelchair or drive? So those questions, most people can answer those. If the answer is no, and then we move to our next page, which offers solutions to those issues. So if signs are not clearly marked, or streets are not clearly marked, or if parks, entrances, and exits aren't clearly marked, we have some solutions that could work for some of those problems. And then if you see kind of this part right here in some of our solution sections, it says like for more information on how to contact 311. That's when we move to our resources pages. And we have Livable Neighborhoods as a resource page so that people can get all of that information in one clear spot. Info about NBRs, and then info on how to and when to call 311. So we don't want to make our toolkit a tool for neighbors to, dictate what other neighbors do. We want this to be a community connector versus one that would separate neighbors. And so we make sure that we ask these really important questions before calling 311. And then we go through the important process of like making sure you write down the number so that you know where you're calling on next time if you have to check on it. And so we go through and try to make things as clear as possible for solutions, questions, resources. And we're going to be really excited to share a bit more on Monday with RDA. So if you haven't signed up for the Good Neighbor training, please do. We'd love to share this toolkit with you. We're rolling it out right now, so we'd love some more neighborhood groups to work on it with us and see what solutions we can come up with. So Andrea, I think that I beat the timer by a lot, but I talk quick, so that's what we get. Does anyone have any questions for me about the toolkit or about WYCO app? Andrea, are there any questions that I should, hit on before I turn it back over to you?
No, and I apologize. I'm not able to see everybody's hands right now. So if you do have a question, feel free to just go ahead and chime in. I don't see any in the chat. Are there any questions? Okay, well, thank you, Shelby. And we're excited to have Shelby come back on Monday night to give a more in-depth presentation on the toolkit, along with Aaron Strika at Rosedale Development Association, who's going to talk about their Couch to Commission toolkit. So these are both tools that neighborhoods can use to engage their neighbors. And I'm excited. So thank you, Shelby, so much.
Yeah, thanks, Andrea.
Okay. And I think now I have to see if I can, there we go. It's like, how do I get it back for myself? Okay. Okay, great. I don't see Aaron on yet. So we're gonna go ahead and move along. And next on the agenda is the mayor's office. So I believe that Mayor Albee is on. If you are ready.
There you go. Thank you. I just want to take this opportunity, and I think Dave Nall may have or will be describing the change to the, when I was on the BPU board, one of the constant complaints was that people would confuse the UG charges with BPU charges, and they would hold the BPU responsible for the pilot, for instance. And what we decided to do, and we've been working on this to really clarify this with the company that produces and handles the billing for the BPU, to create two separate pages in your bill. And so there's an insert that went out that described the change, and the new bill will reflect this electric charge, the environmental surcharge, the electric rate component, anything that is associated with the production and distribution of power and water will be on one page, which is the BPU page with the BPU logo. The second page, a second page, will simply describe and itemize the charges that come from the UG side. So that includes stormwater, it includes sanitary, sewer, it includes trash collection, and it does include the pilot. And that was necessary, I think, for us to be more, I'm more than willing to take responsibility And I know the commission is for the pilot, the payment in lieu of tax, which is the UG charge on the BPU bill. We need to, that's something that we assign, and it generates anywhere between $33 to $37 million a year in revenues for the unified government, which are used to provide services across the city, not the county, just the city side of it. And again, for those of you who are paying attention to the budget, 70% of the UG budget is assigned for personnel. It pays for our employees. And about 60% of our total budget is assigned or allocated to public safety. And a significant amount of the revenues to pay for those salaries and to pay for, obviously, our public safety is generated through the pilot. And it bears mentioning as well that the power that runs through the unified government, and that includes street lights, traffic signals, and all UG facilities, is provided by the Board of Public Utilities. And that cost is not assigned anywhere. It's just not basically, it's not monetized. But as a city-owned, municipally owned utility, the Board of Public Utilities provides all the power and water to the unified government. And also, again, through the pilot, generates, depending upon sales in any given year at the BPU, between 33 and 36 million, probably $36 million in revenues. And again, those are all used all across the city for UG services. Specifically, really, as I said, primarily 70% of our budget is for salaries. And if you look at it another way, 60% of our budget is allocated to the public safety, and about another $11 million a year to public works. And frankly, our public works is woefully underfunded. I'm going to continue to repeat that. I hear from folks all the time that we need more and better services, primarily on our streets, our stormwater. We will often receive concerns from neighbors about runoff from stormwater or culverts that are failing, or ditches that have no longer able to carry the water. And we actually have to anticipate moving forward, if the predictions about climate change are accurate, and thus far seem to be, that we can anticipate longer periods of drought, heat and drought in the Midwest, and more intense storms, which is going to be a real challenge for our existing stormwater, which is why we are really taking a very hard look at our infrastructure needs, so that we can have those emergency needs from public works, but also what are the urgent needs, those things we need to address within the next 5 to 7 years to prevent them from reaching the emergency spot, that point of failure, which becomes much more expensive to remedy after it reaches a point of failure. But then long term, what are the sources of funding that is going to allow us to address our infrastructure needs? We do hope, and I've signed off on support for the infrastructure bill that recently passed Congress. I think we're looking at about $3.2 billion in infrastructure funding for the state of Kansas. We really are hoping to identify and get to the state our specific needs so we can get out in front of some of our very serious infrastructure needs. So I just want to give a heads up and highlight that change to the BPU bill to make it more transparent, it more clearly demonstrates or shows where the funding, what the funding for the unified government is, what the funding for the BPU is, what revenue sources those are, and where those go. So just want to pass that on to all of you. And again, we are taking a very serious look at our infrastructure problems, because this is an issue all across our community. We need to know more clearly what our needs are, what our challenges are, and then certainly what our funding sources are going to be to address these issues. And that's enough for me. Thank you all, and talk to you later.
Thank you, Mayor. Does anybody have any questions? No questions today?
Thank
Quite.
you, Andrea.
I didn't see any hands up.
Bye-bye.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mayor Alvey. Next on the agenda is the Health
Thank you.
Department. And I'm not sure if we have anybody from the Health Department on. If so, say something. Okay, nobody from the Health Department today. I know there was a conflict with our normal, with Kay. She was not able to be here today, so. Okay, so we will move on to the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Ash.
Yes, thank you, Andrea. Good morning, everyone. Just a couple of items. First of all, next week is Employee Appreciation Week here at the Unified Government. And so we have a number of employees that are getting some special recognition, but really we need to be sure that we especially recognize everybody because these have been very difficult, challenging times, especially the last 18 months or so. And our employees have been on the front line of it all the way through and have done a incredible job. So we're looking forward to being sure that they are properly recognized and thanked next week. We're working very diligently. When I say we, working with Chief Oakman and Captain Pruitt, specifically from the police department. And I know that Chief Henry Horn from Kansas City County Public Schools Police also working with us. And we're working with many members of the faith community here for a special emphasis weekend that's going to be known as Faith and Blue Weekend. And we're trying to connect members of law enforcement with local synagogues, mosques, houses of worship in order to foster positive community relationships there between the police and members of those local congregations, and just open up dialogues and build relationships that can help us from the law enforcement side as we are policing and serving in the community. So that's going to be October 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. And our signature event's going to be a parade on the 9th. So there will be some information coming out through the media and through, other announcements and so on and so forth about those events that are scheduled and taking place. We've been having ongoing planning meetings now for about a month and a half, a couple of months, and but we're just a couple of weeks out from the event. So we're pretty excited about that. And I'll leave you with the fact that we are hiring. We are experiencing a significant shortage in personnel, really in lots of different job classifications throughout the sheriff's office, both sworn and civilian. And so these jobs are good jobs. They're good paying jobs with great benefits at the Unified Government. And we're looking for any and all interested and qualified applicants to come on board with us. So that information is always available on the website and through the various links to human resources. So encourage community members that are looking for a good job with security and stability, give us a look. And that's all I have, Andrea. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Sheriff Ash? Okay, quiet group today. Thank you. Next on the agenda is DA Dupree.
Good morning, everyone. I am always pleased and happy to be with you guys. I'll try to go quickly here. Just a few updates. We are up and moving here in the courthouse. We have trials that are going. The jury pool is still coming in. There was a concern that we would not have enough juries upon a couple of weeks back, but folks surprised us and came in and was not scared off because of the new variant. So we were very happy to see that. The way this works is if we don't have jurors to sit for jury trials, then all is in vain, and we have to then set the trial off. So that's good that we're able to continue to move forward. We're continuing to work with the different schools and organizations and going out and trying to be preventative. On that note, as you all had seen in the paper, I'm sure, District 500 has increased its security measures in the schools to try to deal with some of the fighting that has been occurring. Our office is watching to see if there are any charges that will have to come, but on the front end, we're trying to continue to be preventative so that we don't have to give children charges. That is always the best route. Giving felonies to, 8th, 9th, and 10th graders, it's not a good thing because it stops them later on in life from jumping on and getting those good jobs that the sheriff just talked about for making stupid mistakes in school. And so we're trying to make sure that we're preventative on that. I would also state that as the sheriff said, there are openings for attorneys. If you know any attorneys that are looking for a position, I love Wyandotte County, but we have competitive law offices here. And one of my attorneys was snatched up by the unified government. The mayor just left, but this is a dig on him. Their legal department stole one of my assistant district attorneys. I can't be mad at them, right on. And so we are looking to fill that position. So if you know any who would love to get into the prosecutorial area, feel free to have them reach out. Lastly, I'm going to put a website in the link. It just came to me, and Andrea, I'll send you this email, but ultimately it's from the University of Kansas, who has teamed up with Care Portal as well as the Department of Children and Family, and they have created a racial equality or equity collaborative, a statewide learning experience concerning child welfare and race. And one of the things that they are really focusing on, as I go to my little cheat sheet here at what was just sent out to give a little understanding of it. I have some of my assistant district attorneys. As you know, Child in Need of Care works directly with Department of Children and Families when dealing with taking children out of the home and the welfare system. Their cheat sheet says that the mission is for the Racial Equity Collaborative is a statewide effort to understand the history of racial inequities in child welfare and to define the problem through a shared language so we all advocate and approach child welfare, advance racial equity. Black and brown children are reported more to child welfare than in the system and at a higher rate compared to white children and have a worse outcome in the foster care system. So this is something that the state of Kansas is really trying to deal with and look at and try to make sure that the child welfare system affects everyone in the best way possible. And so folks across the state are coming together to educate themselves and try to make this better. If you are interested in being a part of that, I believe the first webinar, I believe it is coming up pretty quick here. That link that I put in there, you can tap on and find out more about it. And it's free to register. It's quite the experience. At least I hope so. And so that's all that I have, unless anyone has any questions for me.
We have our first question. So thank you.
I feel so honored.
I almost said Officer Brownlee. Jeff Brownlee has a question.
At the beginning there, you mentioned about the increased security at the District 500 schools due to fighting. Is that at the high schools, the middle schools? And then do you know what the fighting is about?
My understanding, it is the high school, and of course, the wonderful District 500 folks are on here, and I'm not sure if it's retaliation. I know that there has been some issues upon last year. Here's the fact, and this is something that I've talked to several of the school folks about, is look, our children have not been in these schools for nearly up to 2 years, and so you've had a lot of lack of better terms, trash talking that's been going on for 2 years on social media, and now they're face to face, and you can't hide behind the screen anymore. And so I would be hesitant to say whether or not it's for one specific thing, or if it's gang related or this or that. I really think it's just everyone's getting back together and really working out some of the cobwebs that's been around for the last 1.5 to 2 years.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I just want to jump in and add, this is not just solely something that's taking place in KCKPS. We are seeing this around the country in different school districts.
Okay. Okay. Are you going to talk a little later on, sir? About the school district?
Yes.
Okay. I can just ask you a question now about maybe thinking about having some kind of course in the school system about conflict resolution. I used to be a school resource officer for about 4 years, and then I kind of focused on the kids that were receiving in-school suspension for whatever reasons, and I would make a focus on them. I would appear in their classroom and give them a little class on conflict resolution and trying to teach them, there's other ways to handle problems other than putting your hands on somebody.
Well, we really appreciate that. In addition to the support that the DA's office has been providing for some time and working with our students, we are looking forward to working with all organizations in our community to assist us. So if I can get your contact information, that would be great.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for DA Dupree?
Thank you so much, guys. Be blessed.
Thank you. Okay, Aaron has been able to join us now. And so Aaron, if you would like to give a brief little presentation on what you'll be talking about Monday, which is the Rosedale Development Association's Couch to Commission Toolkit.
Thanks, Andrea. It's really good to see you all today. So Andrea has invited me to join the Good Neighbor training to talk about our Couch to Commission guide. And Andrea, if it's okay with you, I'm going to hit share screen. Oh, no, just kidding. Am I? That's okay. I'll just talk. So we get at RDA, as I'm sure you all do at your groups and at your offices, lots and lots of questions about, hey, there's a problem in my community. I'm not sure who to talk to. I'm not sure who to do about it. I'm sure Andrea gets tired of me saying, well, call Andrea. So what we did kind of as our pandemic project is to try to get a really clear, easy, usable guide for how to get your issue in front of your UG departments, your elected officials at the local and state level, and how to get your issue heard effectively. We called it the Couch to Commission Guide after a Couch to 5K program. I don't know if any of you are aspiring runners. Hey, thanks, Rachel, for putting the link in there. It's a gradual approach. It's for people who find dealing with the UG intimidating. So this isn't necessarily for you all who've been doing this for years and years and years. This is for the folks that we're always trying to get more involved in our neighborhood groups, the young people, the people who are a little disconnected, the people who care but don't necessarily have time or get intimidated. This is designed to make it easy. It has links to different departments. It has contact information for your elected officials. It has templates for how to write a letter to your commissioner or how to speak at the planning commission meeting. And it has strategy guides. How do you kind of work with others to put together a campaign? It's really very usable. We're actually working on a youth version right now, and we'll be talking through it in detail on Monday night. Well, I hope you can join us. Any questions?
Great, thank you. Ashley, hand.
Erin, I think this is a fantastic resource. So thank you so much for what you've done to pull this all together. I'd like to offer that if anyone puts this into action, takes this into place, I would love to kind of document that so that we can start to create a stronger narrative about civic engagement and what that means in the county, and how we can continue to support it as an organization, because I think just as the community needs to, have the tools to understand how to be empowered to make an impact and influence decisions, the unified government also has a responsibility to understand how to receive that. So we would love to partner with you if you identify an opportunity and start using this as a tool. We'd love to kind of track that so we can kind of share the good news about what work you've done, but also encourage more people to pick up and take advantage of these types of resources.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Ashley. Thank you. I love that idea. One thing I forgot to mention is it's editable. It's in a Microsoft Word document. And so the way it's written is for Rosedale folks. It's got pictures of our elected officials representing Rosedale. It's got Rosedale issues, but you can take it and adapt it for your neighborhood or maybe for all of Wyandotte County. So I think that would be really cool.
That's great. Thank you. I didn't realize it was editable, so that's awesome.
I didn't want to write a new one after every election, so.
Jeff, is your hand still up or did you have a question?
I forgot to take it down. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay. Just wanted to make sure. Any other questions? Great. Thank you, Erin. And I hope everyone joins us Monday night for the Good Neighbor training. So you can hear more about both of these initiatives that we've heard about today. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is the KCKPD, and I believe that Sergeant Joyce is representing the police department today.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm Sergeant Joyce. I was asked to address you guys today in lieu of our commanders who are in training. They asked me to speak about the homeless program and the ID program that we started. As everybody knows, we do have a large homeless population, but no one could truly put numbers to it. So that's what we started focusing on, because tying up law enforcement and taxpayers' money to book homeless people that actually need other services is just not working. It doesn't solve the problem. One of the things we found is the majority of them do not have any form of birth certificate, social security card, ID, which slowed down the process for any of the services to help them. So we followed Topeka's model and were able to get approved through the city to be able to start the IDs. And since starting it a little over a month ago, we have actually issued 63 of them. We have 5 pending right now. We have another remote session set up with Frank Williams on Monday. But what we've also learned as doing this is that it is connecting us with some of the homeless that we have a hard time locating, particularly in the northeast section of town, because our population up here is very transient. We don't have a shelter, so they know when that sun comes up, they got to start moving. So it's connected us to them so that we can identify more of them and try to get them to services. But it's also showed us that there's a lot of people, not even just our homeless, who are struggling to get IDs because they've lost their birth certificate or social security card, or carjacked and lost all of their papers there. We've had several of those, or several with fires. So we've been able to help people start down that road again, getting their identification put back in place. So unless anyone has any questions, that's what we're doing.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Sergeant Joyce? Okay, great information today. Thank you. And next on our list is the fire department. And again, I'm not sure that I'm seeing anybody from the fire department today. Okay. Oh, sorry.
I saw John on earlier, Droppelman, and maybe he's muted.
I think he's trying to talk. I see him, but I can't hear him.
Let's see. Oh, there he is. Well, we can't hear you. It doesn't show that you're muted. So I'm not sure.
He said he's gonna dial in.
Okay. We will give him just a moment.
Have him do a *6.
Did you hear that? While we're waiting for just a second, I did get this question a couple of times. So for those of you who see these links in the chat and want to know how to get the information after the meeting is over, if you click on the link and open it on your computer, if it's a PDF, you can save it, or if it's a document, you can save it. If it's a website, you can just pull it up and just keep it on your computer. So when the meeting is done, you still have access to that information. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that and knew how to do that. Because there's a lot of great information being put in the chat. So if you get a chance, look through there. Okay, we're going to come back to John in just a little bit, but we will go to USD 500. Edwin.
Thank you, Andrea. I just have a few things to share, and then Jenny Humphreys is on, our board member. She may have something else to add. I just want to let everyone know that Dr. Stubblefield is hosting several listening and learning sessions for parents, students, and the community. We held our first session on Monday at Colby Bruce. We didn't get the turnout that we wanted, but we still have 3 remaining sessions. The next one will be Saturday, September the 25th at J.C. Harmon High School, and that would be from 11 to 12 p.m. We are basically also partnering with Univision. They're going to live stream it to help us reach our Hispanic families. So we're looking forward to that and that partnership and getting the information out. And then we are having one Thursday, October the 7th at Washington High School. And then the last one will be virtual, and that will be from 6 to 7 p.m. as well. And that's going to be Thursday, October the 21st. And I will send you these dates. If you would like to, we're looking for the community to really be responsive and take part in the survey. You can access that on our website at kckps.org, kckps.org. And there's QR codes. And there's 6 questions, survey questions. You can click on that and you can answer those questions related to our school district. In addition to the listening and learning sessions, we are introducing a new social media series, and it's with Dr. Stubblefield, and it's called Your Voice Heard. So anyone in the community can connect with Dr. Stubblefield, because you know we have a lot of parents and students who like being on social media, and we want to get their input. We want to hear from them their comments and concerns. And all you have to do is click the Contact Us button on the left side of the webpage. You will be prompted with a few questions to fill out. The form will be filled out anonymously by hiding contact information at the button of the page. Again, Dr. Stubblefield is really wants to get input and feedback from the community. And so we will continue to do this and push this out. So if you can share this with people who are interested, we would really appreciate it. Also, we are collaborating with the Wyandotte County Public Health Department again to host another COVID-19 vaccination event. This one will be at J.C. Harmon as well. And it will be October the 2nd from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Individuals who are 12 and older who are receiving their first vaccination will get a $50 gift card. In addition to COVID-19 shots, those who attend, there's going to be other things available. They can receive a COVID-19 testing, flu shots, dental exams, sports physicals. There will be free food and giveaways. And we will have a band that's going to be there to showcase. And we hope we can get a great turnout. And we will also have several other community partners as well who will be attending. Also, finally, I want to ask you all, those who want to stay connected with KCKPS, you can sign up to our district newsletter called Excellence at a Glance. I put the link to the newsletter in the chat, and you can sign up. It's very easy. Only take you a couple of minutes. And we send out that newsletters bi-weekly, and we send out updates and information related to various things and activities that are taking place within the school district. That's all I have. Janie, anything you would like to add?
We would like to invite parents and community to the central office this evening for our curriculum open house. You can get a sneak peek at the reading and English language arts curriculum that we're looking to adopt for next year. It is a chance for you to come and see what's going to be put in front of our students. It starts at 4:30 at central office, and masks are required. So please, you're welcome to come. And then on October 16th on Saturday, we are having our annual marching band festival. All of our high school bands will be performing, and we invite you to come out and support our students. And the last thing I want to say is I wanted to thank all the community that has been coming out to our children's sports programs. I know last fall we did not have any sports, but this year we're doing it with all the COVID mitigations that we need. And we appreciate you coming out and supporting our kids. We had a wonderful turnout for football games last weekend. The middle school games on Saturday were packed. So please come out and support our kids. And Edwin, thank you for all the other updates. We are very excited about the COVID clinic up in Harmon. It's going to be exciting to get all of our people out there and provide immunization so our kids can continue attending school in person.
I have a quick question. Can anyone attend the COVID event, even though they don't live in Kansas? Can they come from Missouri?
To my knowledge, the health department is not limiting it to Wyandotte County residents.
Anyone that wants a shot won't be turned away.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, I do know that Edwin shared the link to the information, some of the information he shared in the chat. So again, like I had mentioned, click on it, open it up in your browser so you have it when you leave the meeting. Thank you, Edwin and Janie.
Andrea, I had asked the question about what.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. What the outcomes of this listening and learning session is. I know that the community has been talking to the school district for a while now and has participated in multiple listening and learning sessions over the last 3 years. The last time, I believe there was a dashboard that was created with the concerns and it was responses. Is that the same thing we can expect this time? Because I also think that's a part of influencing individuals to come is what is the follow-up thereafter. So now you heard me, but like, what are you going to do about it?
Well, Rachel, that's a good question. So you said that there were several listening and learning sessions held previously. I wasn't aware of those. I've been here 2 years, so I can't speak for the previous administration and what those listening and learning sessions were about. However, I can tell you Dr. Stubberfield's intent is that she really wants to hear from parents. She really wants their input. So she's going to collect this data and go back and focus on some of the issues and concerns. Again, you can't tackle every concern at once, but she has a plan to review them and sincerely review them and have that dialogue and then proceed afterwards, after what she hears from the public. So the intent is to address those concerns. The intent is to listen. So I can only speak for this current administration, Rachel. I can't speak for the past. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, so on your website, and I just dropped the link in that's where the last listening and learning sessions where the information was then reported out on. And Jamie probably knows what I'm talking about. And so I just would think that maybe we can look into doing that same type of thing. So there is some type of follow-up after these conversations.
She is planning on having follow-up. Yes, that is the plan.
The purpose is to allow parents and the public to share their ideas on how to enhance academic achievement for all of our students. And being a new superintendent, she wants to make sure she has every opportunity she can to learn the community, to interact, and to give people a chance to express their concerns so that she can answer them. If she doesn't hear, she can't answer. So this is a great opportunity. The virtual way, what Edwin was talking about, where you can submit questions that she can answer, and for her to be out in the community.
Okay, any follow-up questions? Or questions in general of other things? Thank you, Rachel. I'm sorry I missed that in the chat. I'm trying to keep up. Okay, any other questions that I missed or? Okay, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Edwin and Janie. Next, we're going to go back to the fire department, and I believe that John is on now. Do we have you, John? Maybe. Okay. Oh.
Good morning. Hello.
There we go. We got you.
There we go. Okay, finally. Sorry, I've been having problems with the microphone for the last few meetings. So coming up in October, before our next meeting, will be the residential open burn period for those wanting to get rid of their yard waste. That will start on October 16th and run through November 15th. As always, you'll be able to apply. We encourage people to apply using the online permit portal. It's on the Kansas Fire Department's webpage. There is a link from the city's webpage to get there. The city's got a newer webpage they've enacted, and it's a little tough to kind of find some stuff that you used to be able to find, but if you just search burn permits in their search field, select residential open burn permits, and it'll take you right to the application portal. You can also, if you don't have access to a computer or the web, you can always visit a fire station and they will issue you one out of there. We will open up that process starting October 13th, about 3 days before the actual open burning is allowed. Once again, you have to get one of those permits 24 hours before you actually start burning. Any questions about the weather? You're not sure if you can burn or not? The phone number 573-5911 will have a recording on there whether it's been suspended or it's allowed. And any questions about obtaining a permit or problems accessing it, that phone number is 573-5970. And I will send this to Andrea and she can post it on the monthly notes.
Great, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Any questions? Okay, group, you're quiet today. But thank you. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda, we have BPU and David, will it be you or Patrice today?
It will be.
It's going to be me today.
Oh, okay. She answered that for you. Hi, Patrice.
Thank you, Andrea. Hi, I appreciate the time. I'm Patrice Townsend with the Board of Public Utilities, and I'm here to share a new program that the Board of Public Utilities has recently started. BPU will now be helping with the KERA application process, and that is the Kansas Emergency Rental Assistance, KERA, which was launched on March 15th. This is a state program, and it accepts applications for renters only, and it helps to provide assistance for your rent, utility and internet access for households that have experienced financial hardships due to COVID-19. And these are hardships that started after April of 2020. The program deadline is May 1st of 2022. So we are trying to get as many of our customers that have gotten behind on their utilities, help them to make application for this funding because it's there and available. So we have started a new hotline as well as an email address. So I'm here today to share that with you and ask you to please get that out to the public. Anyone that you know that are having issues with paying their bills. And again, it has to be a renter. You have to be a renter. So our special dedicated line is 913. Please write this down, 913-573-9123. That's an easy number. And our email is kera@bpu.com. That is KERA@bpu.com. So thank you again for this time. And please, if you have any questions, please get a hold of myself or David and spread the word. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And will you guys be willing to share that information with me after the meeting so we can get that out to the group as well?
Sure, I think David David has put together a flyer on it, so I'm sure he can get that to you.
Okay.
Absolutely, Andrea. I'll send that to you. I'll send you the flyer and in a link and stuff. And so then I appreciate you getting the word out to the herd. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Or any questions for David or Patrice? I don't see any hands up. Okay. And that is it. As far as our updates, do we have any community announcements that anyone would like to share? It looks like
I do.
Really quick. Okay, hold on one second. Edgar just posted in the chat that he doesn't have a mic, but he okay, they're moving their Day of the Dead celebration to November 6th. And he provided a website in the chat. It's dayofthedeadweekend.com. If you want to participate in any way, they would love to have your participation, and they are hoping that COVID numbers stay down so that they can keep on with this amazing event that we have in our city every year. So, so if anybody has any questions about that, the information's in the chat. Somebody did say they have an update or information they'd like to share.
I do. Oh my God. I'm out of the screen somehow.
We can hear you and we can see you.
Okay. Can you see me?
Yes.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am Nora Brown, and I'm with Kansas City, Kansas Community College. I'm not able to see you guys, but I wanted to let you know that the Wyandotte High School downtown site has started to operate. We will be offering the 8-week session classes starting October 11th. In the evening, we have classes starting at 5:30 in the evening, lasting until 8:30, depending. This is Monday through Thursday. We will be offering English, math, and Microsoft Office skills. So if you have any family members or members of the community who are interested in attending school in the evening, we have the Wyandotte location now open again. We did close temporarily because of the pandemic, and we're starting to open up again and hoping that we start to offer GED and ESL classes back in the spring of 2022. If you have any questions, you can call me at 913-601-9092. I hope that we can continue to offer these classes, and we are looking for the support of the community to continue to send this information out. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And we have been sharing that in our Livable Neighborhoods e-news. I forgot one week, and but it did go out next week, and it'll go out again. So that information will be there this Friday as well. And Julie, I know that you wanted to share some information. I apologize.
That's okay. Hi, everyone. I'm in a doctor's office, and also my camera's not that great, but I wanted to tell you that I am with MU Extension and the Kansas City Metro Tax Coalition. And we are looking to expand our free tax preparation in Kansas City, Kansas, this coming filing season. And we are looking for volunteers. And so I put the link to our MU Extension website in the chat. And I don't frankly know if I can successfully share my screen, but there's a little bit of, I cannot. So there's a little bit of background about the coalition, who our coalition members are. In Kansas City, Kansas right now, our coalition partners are El Centro and Kansas City, Kansas Community College. And we've been having discussions with a number of the folks on this call. And we're very excited to try and serve more folks in KCK with free tax preparation. So we're looking for folks that might want to be tax preparers, but also help us with financial education, with navigating virtual processes if we end up having to do that this year. And also folks just to help us with doing like greeting and screening for folks that enter into the beginning of the tax preparation process. Free tax preparation is offered through the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program with the IRS. And next year, the income guideline will be $58,000 for a household. And we're hoping that we will also be able to start working with the tax counseling for the elderly program. That's generally the guidelines that AARP uses, and that's free preparation for people 60 and over, regardless of income, as long as the return is in scope. So that's the information I wanted to share today. Thank you so much. Sorry that I'm in a doctor's office, and I will be on next month as well. Okay, bye.
Thank you. And that information has also been shared in our e-news. If you want to go back and look at our last e-news for that as well. Nancy, I noticed your hand's up.
Yes, good morning. I just wanted to say I actually added it to the chat, but Kansas Works is having a statewide virtual job fair. It'll be September 29th and the 30th. I also attached a link. You have to pre-register for the link, but we have a lot of folks that are going back to work now or looking for work now. And so we want to connect with those individuals virtually and get them back to work. We also have positions for case managers and reemployment specialists and program specialists in the local workforce centers. We have positions on our website for that as well, or you can visit our office and we can help you with getting applying if you know someone that's looking for work. So we have a lot of positions and openings, but we want to try to get the community hooked up with this statewide virtual fair. And so any of you that have contact with individuals that are looking, please refer them to the website. We have lots of employers that are on there, and we would like to see lots of potential employees on the placement. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. I did notice too in the chat, I missed it, is that Greg Talkin had to, forgot to put him on the agenda, which was my fault, to give an update. But he did say that he apologizes, he had to drop off for another meeting, but he just wanted to note that they've lost 2 property maintenance inspectors at code enforcement. In August, Richard Felix retired, for those of you who don't know, and Matt Smith, who was with code enforcement, has also left. And those vacancies, along with existence vacancies, has spread everyone a little thin, creating some temporary assignments with staff. So they're actively working towards filling those. And it says, even with the vacancies last week, property maintenance staff performed the 3rd of the 4th vehicle blitz for code enforcement. So if you know, I will say, if you know of anybody who received a letter during that blitz, have them please contact their code officer if they have an issue or can't resolve the issue. They are willing to work with anyone, so make sure that they call if they have questions or any concerns about vehicles. So there, I'm sorry, I forgot to to give Greg's update. And Mario, I see that your hand's up.
Yeah, thank you, Andrea. Yeah, I just want to remind everybody that we are having our Silver City Day this year on October the 2nd, but we will not have a parade though, but we will have our festival located there on 29th Strong. So, you know, we will have food booth, information booth, we will have entertainment and everything, but the festival will start there. The Silver City Day will start 10:30 in the morning, October 2nd, next Saturday. So, we hope you all can join us and everything, and that's all I got. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mario. I noticed that Rachel had your hand up.
Yes, just a few things from Crosslines Community Outreach. Starting next Monday, we will be partnering again with the Health Department in the state of Kansas to offer vaccines here at our location from 8:30 to 8 to 1:30. You can get lunch while you're here. They'll have incentives. You can get vaccines, you can get tested, and you can do the rapid testing as well. Additionally, in mid-October, we, along with the Safe and Affordable Housing team, are looking to bring together folks to discuss homelessness and the state of homelessness in Wyandotte County, as well as conversations around pulling together a cold weather shelter. We do not have the luxury of continuing to wait until it gets cold to have those conversations. So if you are someone who has resources or would like to be a part of that conversation, I will drop my email in the chat box, and feel free to send me an email regarding both of those things. And then last, Crosslines is looking forward. Prior to the pandemic, we hosted a Christmas store here at our location, and so we are bringing that back in 2021. And so while we are still in a pandemic, it will look very different. The sign up will be completely online, but that will launch in mid-October. And so more information to come on that, but we know that this is a great resource for our families. Very similar to our community market, folks will be able to shop for specific gifts for their families. So just wanted to share those few things. And again, I'll drop my email in the chat box if you have any questions about any of the things that I said.
Great, thank you, Rachel. And were you looking for any donations for that project at all?
For the Christmas store?
Or any of your projects?
Any of, always. I'm looking for money donations. I'm looking for blankets. We're looking for coats. Yes, all the things that fit into all the categories. If you like to shop for new things for kids, toys, yes, all of that. So feel free to follow up with me via email. I'll drop that now.
Okay, great. Thank you. Jeff Brownlee has his hand up.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the proper venue for this, but we recently lost a very good friend of mine and retired UG employee, Kevin Terry, passed away this past weekend. So for anybody that knows Kevin, knew that he was referred to as the gentle giant, but he was a real good guy. He loved kids, and he's going to be missed.
Thank you for saying that. I didn't know if I could get through saying it. So that's why I hadn't said anything yet. But we also lost Bob Amber, who was one of our beloved neighborhood presidents as well. And so it's been kind of a sad week, I think. So if you can keep their families in your thoughts and prayers, and I'll be sending out any information that I have on services or memorial things or places that you can send cards as soon as I get them.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so I noticed in the chat that Ashley, you had mentioned something about the Armourdale Master Plan. And if you want to mention that, that would be great.
Yes, very excited. We have the draft area master plan for Armourdale, which has been in the works with the community over the last 9 months or so. And it's an open house. It's kind of, unfortunately, just because of COVID, it's very difficult to kind of have a lot of community meetings. So this is an opportunity to meet face to face with the planning department, provide your input, and kind of hear some of the vision. It's a really long overdue area master plan. The last one was in 1979. So the kind of core areas of focus are on preserving and improving the quality of life for the existing residents, creating new opportunities for new residents, as well as focusing on the corridors to connect within the community, but also to the larger community and the riverfront. So lots of really interesting ideas and strategies and proposed partnerships in this area master plan. So we welcome you to join us at the Armourdale Community Center from 3 to 7 p.m. this afternoon and learn a little bit more, weigh in on this important process as we kind of move forward through formal adoption. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I think that's it. I don't see any more hands. Anyone else have a something they would like to share? Anything coming up? Okay. For Livable Neighborhoods, I just want to remind you again that Monday night we will have our Good Neighbor training. It will be Rosedale Development Association's Aaron Strika and Moxa Shelby will be coming back to speak a little bit more on the toolkits that they have available for neighborhoods. So please share that. It's on our Facebook page. It's also in our e-newsletter. And you have the information from today as well. You can always reach out to me and I can send you the links if you need, or anybody else who would like the links to those meetings, let me know and I can send those to them as well. Also, it is neighborhood grant time. And for those neighborhood leaders who've been doing this a while, you know that I am late on getting those out to you. We will be having grants, I promise. I will be sending those out at the beginning next week. So every neighborhood president will receive that information on Monday via email, and then I will mail out to anyone who needs that. I'll also be sending out a phone tree message for those who don't have access to emails also. So just know that those are coming out. I am extending the deadline. It won't be October 31st, I promise. That's not really fair. So I will be extending the deadline, but the grants will be going out. I have had some neighborhood people contact me and say that they might need some help working through ideas, especially since a lot of our normal projects have had to shift. So I do plan on having a meeting in October open to neighborhood leaders where we can talk through maybe some different ideas that you can bring forward that, you know, if you can't do a picnic like you normally would, or a holiday meeting like you normally would, maybe we can be adding some different things in there and coming up with some different ideas together. So look for that as well. We'll have an informational meeting for neighborhood leaders on that. So just keep in mind that I'm just behind, but you'll be getting grants, I promise. So any questions or any other comments? Thank you, everybody, so much. I appreciate you today. You all have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, Andrea.
Bye-bye. Stay safe.